Hey there everyone, Drew Goldfarb from DGPicks.com coming to you today, getting you ready for tonight's NHL action. We're going to dive right in. Only 3 games on the NHL schedule for tonight, so let's take a quick look at all 3 of them. We're going to start with Toronto and Washington, this game taking place in DC. The Leafs last night were playing in Philadelphia. They trailed 3-0 at the end of the second period. They went on to lose 4-3. So a good effort from Toronto in that third period to try and close the gap, but could not get the points in that contest and ended up losing in regulation, so they didn't get any points. Washington has been playing very well lately thanks to the resurgence of Alex Ovechkin here in the last couple of months. His last 22 games, that is since January 24th, 13 goals and 11 assists. He has 78 shots in his last 22 games as well, so averaging about 3.5 shots on goal per contest. Prior to that, 42 games, only 8 goals. So his pace has tremendously stepped back up. As far as this game goes, Washington a much worse goal differential in the season than Toronto has. Toronto a plus 29, Washington minus 26 for the season. They've been the better team lately. They've won 3 straight, 6-4-0 in their last 10. Toronto, meanwhile, 5-4-1 in their last 10 games. They have the better offense. Goaltending-wise, it's going to be interesting. The goaltending matchup actually favors Washington in this game, but they're only a plus 116 underdog. If this line spread out a bit more, if Toronto is a minus 170, minus 180 favorite, I would lean towards the Washington side at that point. But where it is right now, when you combine the implied odds to Money Puck, there's juice, but not a lot. I do think Washington might get up to about 3 goals in this game. The total line for the game, 6.5. The team total for Washington as the underdog is going to be a bit lower than that. They're going to be the one that are favored to get right around that 3-goal mark. So I do think there could be some money to be made there. Joseph Woll likely to start for Toronto. He struggled in his last few games, but I think the most comfortable bet in this game is going to be Toronto on the money line. Widest line of the day today, Arizona in Dallas. Arizona's won back-to-back in 5 out of their last 9, and considering that immediately prior to that 9-game run, they lost 14 in a row, that is quite the run for the Arizona Coyotes where they are right now. They're going up against Jake Oettinger tonight, who his numbers have taken a hit lately. In 3 of his last 4 games, he's given up at least 4 goals. So there is a lot of goals, a lot of offense that could be had for the opposition going up against the Dallas Stars and Jake Oettinger. Arizona, not a great offensive team this year, averaging 2.9 goals per game and just over 27 shots on goal per game. So this may not be the team to capitalize on that, but you could look at an Arizona team total over at a line of 2.5. It's paying out at plus money for over 2.5 goals. And with Oettinger the way he's played, if you're going to bet on the Coyotes to score at least 3 goals in a game, this might be the one to take it. That's a risky play. They're plus 230 moneyline underdog in this game, and with good reason. The Dallas Stars, they have lost 2 out of 3 on this homestand, but were 6-0-2 in their prior 8 games played at home. The Dallas Stars averaging 3.6 goals per game this season and over 31 shots on goal per game. They're much better offensively than the Arizona Coyotes are. So I think an over is a reasonable play, and if you wanted to find some plus money, you're not going to be super aggressive and go, hey, Arizona to win at plus 230. You can find them at about plus 130 for over 2.5 total goals. So that might be a way to go if you're trying to say Oettinger's struggles will continue. I think Dallas to cover is reasonable. They are 41-19-9 this season, and they're playing the 7th best team in the Central Division and what would be easily the worst team in that division if not for the Chicago Blackhawks. Final game of the night tonight, and it is a matchup of 2 teams that played yesterday. The Minnesota Wild beat Anaheim 4-0 last night. The LA Kings beat Chicago 6-2. They're going head-to-head here in LA, and this is an interesting matchup because the Minnesota Wild are making a push, especially with the struggles the Vegas Golden Knights have had. The Minnesota Wild are really hanging on and really making a run towards the postseason. 6-2-2 in their last 10 games. They are 29-17-4 since making a coaching change under John Hines. The Minnesota Wild right now 34-27-8 on the year. LA Kings 35-22-11. Since they made a coaching change much more recently, bringing in Jim Hiller, they are 12-7-1 with him as the interim head coach of this team. And what they're doing right now, though, is they've alternated wins and losses over the last 9 games. They're 5-3-1. They have only won back-to-back games once in their last 14, and they are coming off a 6-2 win over the Chicago Blackhawks last night. And when you're combining or comparing implied odds with MoneyPuck's computer simulations, 57.9% chance MoneyPuck gives LA to win this game. 60.6% is the implied odds of their moneyline bet. Minnesota, 42.1% chance to win according to MoneyPuck. Their implied odds of their money line is 43.86%. So the juice pretty evenly split between these teams. If you're going to look at one of the games tonight and take a money line underdog, I think this is the one you do it with, because Minnesota has been on an incredible run. This is the team that did pull their goalie in overtime to make sure they got that second point, and they pulled it out. So the Minnesota Wild have been able to find wins in matchups that they have needed. The LA Kings, they're not in nearly the desperation spot that the Minnesota Wild are, where they're really every single point is so crucial for Minnesota right now. So I think that if you're going to go and you're going to look at a moneyline underdog tonight, I think this is the one that you go with. It's the Minnesota Wild. As always, make sure to check directly with the sportsbooks for the up-to-the-second odds for all of these picks, and best of luck. Of course, if you want the full in-depth breakdown of today's games and many more, head on over to dgpicks.com. Also available at patreon.com/Drew Goldfarb, and sign up for a free 7-day trial. I've got betting picks, tips, and analysis going live throughout the week, and it's all available for free for your first 7 days, dgpicks.com or patreon.com/Drew Goldfarb. Good luck with your bets for today. Be sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel, and tell me who you think will win today's games down in the comments. See you next time.